Okay, so this is a video to demonstrate how to troubleshoot the Sonnet 2 by Medell. So our object is to figure out which part of the speech processor is broken. So we do that by replacing one piece at a time until function has been restored, whether that be sound cutting in and out, no sound. So the first thing I'll have a look at is whether the light comes on. So you should have either disposables or a rechargeable battery in here. If you remove the battery cover and put it back on, notice whether the light comes on or not. If the light is not coming on, I would try a new battery. Following that, if the light is still not coming on after you've tried a second battery, try replacing the battery adapter, whether that be rechargeable or disposable. If you have rechargeable batteries, you might have a spare disposable battery holder in your kit. So you would apply this, just let this focus. Just like this, and pushing on the lever. So if you push on the bottom of this long piece, you can hinge this adapter off and on. Okay? So if you're using disposable, try a second disposable battery frame if you have it. If you're using rechargeable, try to find the disposable battery frame that came with your kit to rule out any issues with one of these parts. So you would put your battery back on, put your battery door back on, and see whether you have a light. If none of those things work and you still don't have a light, we're now suspicious that the processor, which is the computer, is broken. Okay, let's say you've got a battery in, you close the battery door, and you do have a light, but you have no sound. Now we're suspicious of the cable or the coil. So when troubleshooting a Sonnet 2, 90% of the time, it's the cable that's causing the problem. We also might be suspicious of the cable if the sound is cutting in and out, or if there's no flashing on the coil. So if you have it's called a DL coil, there's a little indicator light here, which should flash red, indicating a signal is getting to the coil. So in order to replace the cable, you'll see there's a lock symbol on the Sonnet. You firmly grasp the cable and pull it straight out with no twisting. You might have a look at the pins that hold the cable in place. So there's 4 little holes on the end of the cable, and there's 4 little pins in the Sonnet. So you want to make sure those pins are intact, they're not missing or bent. And then to remove the cable from the DL coil base, this headpiece, we need to first open the cap. See that lock symbol? You cannot just pull this out. So you can just use a fingernail to work around in a circle and remove the color cap. Now we can see the magnet on the inside, and just pull out to remove the cable. So you'd want to take your spare cable out of your backpack and try a new one. So never throw out a broken piece. Medell will always want the broken piece back if you are replacing an item under warranty. Okay, so we would take our second cable and looking at both ends, you can see that they're different. So the end with this bend in it would go straight back in with no twisting. So just give it a good firm press. And then to attach the coil, you have to look for the Medel symbol. So I see a symbol on this side and no symbol on the back. So the side with the symbol faces up. Give that a good firm press into the coil, and then reapply the color cap. And we're looking to see the flashing red light come back, or when you put it on your head, check and see whether sound has been restored. If that doesn't work, it's also possible that this DL coil is the part that's broken. Typically, you will not have a spare in your backpack, but if you come into clinic, we'll have spares and we can help troubleshoot that. The only other part that could be potentially causing problems, if you are using disposable batteries. So disposable batteries are activated by air. And there's always a possibility that this battery cover part is no longer letting air in. So this back part is actually a filter, if you can see in there. And if this has gotten dirty, clogged up, then you might be suffocating your batteries, and the batteries may not be working. This specifically applies to disposable batteries. So you could try a new battery cover if, for instance, your batteries aren't lasting very long. That could be indicated by a flashing orange light, or a processor that works for a little bit and then shuts down. Okay, sorry, the very last thing is the microphone cover. So you've got a forward-facing and a rear-facing microphone on the back of your Sonnet, and this entire back piece is the microphone cover. So you can see here mine's a bit torn up. You would put your Medel screwdriver tool into this hole and pop out the microphone cover. So if this cover is dirty, you might experience sound that's quieter, muffled. So this should be replaced approximately every 4 months. You do want to be careful when removing this. A problem we sometimes see is the entire body of the processor could potentially break into two. The piece under this microphone cover could be also broken, exposing the internal speech processor elements. So if you can see inside of this piece, something's gone wrong and the processor itself is broken. So this just gives you a little bit more information about how to troubleshoot your Sonnet 2. We're also happy to see you in clinic to do troubleshooting together with our spare parts to help you determine what's broken.